Hi, this is Joe here with another review. For the sake of this video, we'll be discussing the 2008 film, The Reader, starring Kate Winslet in her Oscar-winning role. Of course, this movie, has a plot twist, which, if you have to be dumb and blind, you can see this thing from a mile away. Excuse me. Well, like I said, this movie, I forgot the actor who plays the younger part, but the older part was played by Ralph Fiennes, from Schindler's List and movie Made in Manhattan and the Mad Dragon remake. So he's a good, damn good actor. This movie is about, mostly a flashback. So Ralph Fiennes' character, when he's about 15 years old, he meets, and this is back in the 1950s in Germany. We meets this beautiful woman played by Kate Winslet. He was walking the streets and when he was 15 years old, got sick of scarlet fever. So Kate Winslet's character happens to help him out. Well, when he got better, he happens to track this woman, Kate Winslet's character down, and almost right away started having a sexual affair with each other. And you do see Kate Winslet naked again in this movie, which it's become a tradition with Kate Winslet when she does a nude scene. It does about every one of her movies. And I think that's because now she's over 40 right now. She's about 40, she's about maybe 44 or 45 years old now. I think she made put her statement that she's not doing any more nude scenes anymore. Because about every one of her movies she does a nude scene. Including the most famous one in Titanic. So, anyway, not only do you see her naked, you see his naked. You also see his man parts. But it's very rare in a movie to see, a movie showing a male's, manhood in a film. Because usually, 9 times out of 10, they don't show it. Which, of course, a lot of women's groups get mad about that. But anyway, the two of them start an affair, and surprisingly, she didn't get arrested for statutory, or Kate Winslet's character didn't get arrested for statutory rape because she was having sex with a 15-year-old. Anyway, the scenes were pretty good, graphic and pretty good sex scenes, and even more graphic than the scenes that she did in Titanic with Leonardo DiCaprio in terms of a sex scene. But anyway, little by little, the affair goes on for a while, for about a good part of a year. And what happens is that one particular day, Kate Winslet gets up and leaves. And Ralph Fiennes, at least when he was 15 years old, or at 16, wonders what ever happened to her. Well, a few years later, he finds out because he was then eventually going to law school. And the professor says, "Oh, let's cover one of the Nazi trials. A bunch of women were being, a bunch of Nazis, Nazi women who were working as prison guards at Auschwitz were being tried." So Ralph Fiennes is a law school student at that point, goes to the trial with his professor, and sees one of the plaintiffs, one of the defendants. And he finds out that his old former lover is now found out that she was a Nazi. And of course, you have the trial, and of course, she was convicted, obviously, for being a prison guard, for taking people to the, or escorting people to the death, to the gas chambers in Auschwitz. And so she did. She just escorted the door. She didn't pull the lever to drop the gas into the gas chambers to kill people or shot anybody. She just stood guard there when the Nazis were killing Jews in the camps. And of course, which is surprising, you find out that she was a former Nazi. And that was one plot twist. The other plot twist, which, like I said earlier, you could see coming. I mean, it's pretty obvious that what the other plot twist was, and that is not only was Kate Winslet's character in this film, in the reader, a Nazi, but an illiterate Nazi. It means that she couldn't read or write in the movie, or character couldn't. And what I mean is this, and people were shocked. Oh my God, she's an illiterate Nazi. And I mean, you can see that plot twist coming. I knew in advance because I just watched this movie like over the weekend, so I knew what the plot twist was. But if you watch the movie, it doesn't come as a surprise, because the whole time, Kate Winslet's character asks her, well, finds his character and says, "Hey, what are you learning in school today?" He said, "Oh, we're reading the Odyssey by Homer." So, "Oh, can you read something for me?" Or that every day he comes by with another book and he reads it to her. All the time. He reads it in the bathtub, and in bed, or before they have sex, he reads a little bit, and then after sex, maybe a little bit. Originally, after sex, he reads, and instead of smoking a cigarette, he reads a book instead of having a cigarette. That was the bit. And then Kate Winslet switched it to before having sex and then having sex. And that was the whole plot with that relationship. And every time they go somewhere, they went, let's go for a day, bike riding. So they go bike riding, and they go to a restaurant, and she couldn't read the menu. So she asked him to read the menu. So you knew right away what the plot was, or what the plot twist was, I should say. Now, of course, at the end of the movie, Ralph Fiennes' character decides to, after all these years, to reconnect with Kate Winslet's character, with his former lover. And what he did was he recorded all the books, every book that he ever read to her. He made a recording of it, and then he sent it to her in the prison because she was sentenced to a life sentence, and Kate Winslet's character was sentenced to life in prison. So he decides to reconnect with her and sent him recordings of reading the books that he read to her, I should say. So she appreciated it, and then she learned how to read and write by the tape recordings that Ralph finds me, and send him letters. "Oh, can you visit me?" So he decides to visit her after all these years, and she says to him, "Well, you really grew up, kid." That he really grew up, which through the whole movie she calls him Kid, even though later on she finally finds out what the names were, but she still calls him Kid. And anyway, they find out that the prison, after 20 years, she was in prison for like 20 years, decides to release her. Because they found out after all these years, because they found out that she was illiterate at the time, and then they decided to go easy on her and decided to release her from prison if she provides a job and living. So Ralph finds his character and says, "Okay, I'm going to do all that for her." He sets her up in a job, sets her up in an apartment, does everything for her, and then just before, like the day before she was released, big spoiler for those of you who have not seen this movie, she kills herself. And so what happened was, Ralph Fiennes' character goes to pick her up and finds out that she had killed herself, and he was completely devastated for various reasons. And they took all the stuff out, and she wrote him a letter, and he was completely devastated by what happened. And then at the end of the movie, he went with his own daughter to the grave of his former lover, and then at the end of the movie, the last scene was at the cemetery. He starts explaining to her what she meant to him, what this woman meant to him, and that's how the movie ends. I thought it was a good movie. And I think it was a good movie, not a great one. What I mean is because, like I said earlier, you saw where all the plot twists are going and stuff. So you knew where the plot was going in this film. It's not a shock. It wasn't a surprise. It wasn't anything like that. Because even though I knew where the plot twists were, you knew what the plot twists were in this movie, because she always wants him to read to her all the time, and Kate Winslet kind of wants the guy to read to her all the time, and so, well, and you get suspicious. I mean, it's like it's obvious. It's obvious. You have to be dumb not to see what the plot twist was. And people say, "Oh my God, what a plot twist!" Seriously? Come on. How dumb can people be about not seeing what the plot twist was? But Kate Winslet gave a great performance. I thought she did better than Titanic, actually. And after 11 years after her most famous role in Titanic came out, she won the Oscar in this movie. Maybe because he didn't stare at the camera all the time, like she did in Titanic. I think that was the reason why she didn't win for Titanic, because of her habit of staring at the camera all the time. And in Titanic, she always go like this. She always looks up and like that, looks at the camera, or stares blankly at the camera all the time. If you watch Titanic enough times, as I have, you see those problems, and that's what. That's why she didn't win for Titanic. So she had to wait like 11 years, or 12 years by the time the Oscars come around to win for this one. And she was nominated the most times and Kate Winslet had the distinction of being nominated the most times without winning. Until she finally won for The Reader. And like I said, it's a good movie. You have two good actors who are in the movie. And if you want to see some nudity, especially male nude, for all you women out there, want to see a guy nude in a movie, you can watch The Reader. So that's my review of The Reader. Please click on the video, please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please forward this video to your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews not only on my YouTube channel, but at rowdyc.com, so WDY, and c.com, that's my homepage and Rowdy Reviewer, Chris Lee Moore. Please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.